Doing what I did was my way of feeling in complete control, creating my own little world where I had the final say.
Jeffrey Dahmer seduced, murdered, and dismembered 17 young men from 1978 to 1991.
When you depersonalize another person and view them as an object for pleasure instead of a living, breathing human being, it seems to make it easier.
As the killings escalated, Dahmer would photograph his victims and would often cannibalize their flesh.
I was branching out. That's when the cannibalism started, eating of the heart and the arm muscle. It was a way of making me feel that they were a part of me.
He would also keep body parts as mementos and perform experiments, attempting to turn his victims into what he effectively referred to as obedient zombies.
If I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons. Then I tried to keep the person alive by inducing a zombie-like state, and it never did completely work.
After he was finally caught, he was sentenced to 16 life sentences in 1992 before being brutally beaten to death in prison by another inmate in 1994.
My dad always thought I was dumb and stupid, would never amount to anything, so anything that I got involved with, I always put 110% into it.
John Wayne Gacy was known for being active in local politics and performing at birthday parties as Pogo the Clown.
I always felt that service to community and community service to others, in my religious background, I felt if you serve other people, it'll come back to serve you.
He also lured 33 young men into his suburban Illinois home between 1972 and 1978. He strangled them to death and buried their bodies in the crawl space under his house.
I still find it hard to believe him. I've known the man 4.5 years, and I thought the world of him.
When this whole thing is over, you might be witnessing one of the most horrible crimes, perhaps, in a century.
He was sentenced to death in 1980 and finally executed in 1994.
And besides, the dead won't bother you. It's the living you gotta worry about.
Between 1973 and 1986, D'Angelo was responsible for at least 3 crime sprees throughout California, which included 120 burglaries, 50 rapes, and 13 murders.
He raped a 29-year-old housewife near the Ignacio Valley Shopping Center at 5:30 this morning. Her husband was tied up nearby and had to listen. Her 8-year-old daughter was locked in the bathroom.
Call him a rapist, which he certainly is. He's also a burglar.
People reporting prowler calls, suspicious circumstances. Some people even turning in their neighbors because they think that he might be the rapist.
Despite all their locked doors and bolted windows, they are all still very much afraid tonight, and that makes them all, in a sense, his victims.
D'Angelo is believed to have taunted and threatened both victims and police in obscene phone calls.
Police department, sheriff speaking. You're never gonna catch me. You scary rapist, you dumb. I'm gonna again tonight.
After remaining a mystery for 40 years, DNA was traced to D'Angelo's family tree and he was charged for his crimes. In 2020, D'Angelo received multiple consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole after finally pleading guilty to his crimes.
Murder in the first degree. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.